We did a video very similar to this last year where I showed you how to do 3-ingredient breakfasts and 5-ingredient meals. So we're being super original today. We're doing 4-ingredient meals that are healthy and good for you. I'm gonna try to stick to the rules as much as possible here, meaning that ingredients that are staple ingredients that you'd have in your pantry, like garlic, ginger, and onions, I'm considering as ingredients, which means that if they're not part of the list of the 4, I won't include them at all. The only thing that I'll allow myself to add is just basic seasoning. So salt, pepper, soy sauce, and fish sauce, I'm considering part of my basic seasoning. And honestly, it's really fair because I feel like these are 4 things that everyone has in their household, right? It's not an additional purchase. The first one I'm gonna show you how to do. We're gonna be using some bok choy, some spring onion, some skirt steak, and then we have, that's hot. And then we have some really hot beef broth. Let's put this together. Get your oil nice and hot. Then we're gonna start cooking our skirt steak with a little bit of salt. We're gonna place our beef broth into a pan here, and then we're gonna blanch our bok choy in the beef broth so that we retain some of the flavor. So I'm gonna cheat a little bit. Cornstarch slurry, just to thicken that sauce a little bit. Come on guys, everyone has cornstarch at home, I'm sure you do. If not, you don't really need it. It's just more of a texture and kind of, yeah, it's a texture thing. This skirt steak looks ready to go. Let that rest for 5 minutes. Since this is skirt, we're gonna cut it against the grain. All that, including the spring onions, goes back into the pan with the cornstarch and the broth. A little bit of soy sauce. I didn't mention it a while ago, but these all have the added benefits that they're all made within 15 minutes. So 15-minute 4-ingredient meals. Long title, but I think it hits all the bells and whistles of what people are looking for when they cook at home. So what? This is obviously skirt steak from Bulls Eagle Beef, chingoladeli.ph, plug. Such a good combination. Okay, next dish. We have some udon noodles. Any type of noodle that you want to use is fine as well. We have some salmon fillet, we have a carrot, and we have a sesame dressing. So how do you put all these things together in a meal that makes sense? Well, let me show you. It's very, very simple. We're gonna start with the longest thing, which is just cooking the salmon. Olive oil, and then we're gonna cook the salmon skin side down until it's cooked, turn it around, and then flake it up. For our carrots, very simple. All we're gonna do is grate them. In France, we do a lot of carrot salads, which I really love. So I'm a huge fan of anything with carrots when it comes to anything cold, really. So put that in a bowl with our cooked udon noodles, and then we're gonna toss that together with some sesame dressing. I mean, if you have it, add in some coriander, some basil, whatever parsley herbs that you might have. But we're sticking to the 4-ingredient rule here. Turn it. Place that in a bowl. You have your carbs, you have your fat, you have your vegetables, your sodium, a little bit of sugar from that dressing, and then our beautiful protein salmon. Perfectly cooked, nice and tender. All that goes together nicely, and when you eat it, we're just gonna destroy it, basically. I love crunchy dry skin on salmon. It's like a little pocket of protection of the really, really kind of steamy and moist salmon meat. That with the udon and the carrots and the sesame dressing, match made in heaven. And you can use any kind of like sesame dressing here, like a soy-based one with some ginger maybe. So good. So first things first, I've been boiling this canned chickpeas for about 20 minutes. Usually if you want to separate the skins, you want to add some baking soda in there, but we don't want to do that. So just boil it in some water, some beef broth, or whatever you on hand, just to get them nice and tender and soft. This is kind of like inspired by like curry, like a chickpea curry or a dal, where basically the main ingredients are mostly vegetarian. This is vegan actually. So just some chickpeas, some salt, some spinach, which we're just gonna wilt. It's probably like the easiest one out of all of them. Heat everything up together. If we were doing this proper Indian style, we'd be adding tons of spices here. And you'd be toasting the spices, and that's where all your flavor would be coming from. So if you have a big pantry with a lot of spices, then feel free to add anything like garam masala, some cumin, some turmeric, some paprika, some cayenne. You can really add as much as you want in here. But in the spirit of the concept, I'm just gonna keep it very simple, just to show you that just like this, it can be really tasty. Next, canned crushed tomatoes, salt. If you want to be like really picky, what you can do is cook this down until the natural oils from those canned tomatoes start dissipating. If you really just want to eat this very fast, add some coconut milk right away. Not too much, just enough. Let that come together, boil out, thicken out. That's pretty much it. Let's try it. All you need here is like a cup of red rice or brown rice and maybe a couple of fried eggs. Be perfect. The next recipe we're doing is just a really tasty, high in protein fried rice. You may or may not know that the Fat Kid Inside Studios and Featr, we're gonna be moving very soon to a much larger space. So I'm currently late for that meeting. But I thought it'd be really cool for the concept of anyone can do it. Martin doesn't know what I'm doing. Martin, come in. He doesn't even have a mic. He wasn't ready for this. So Martin is gonna do this last dish. All eyes on you.
All right. So from the ingredients, I can already see that it's fried rice. And knowing Erwan, he would probably have made it with like 100 bowls, 50 plates. But we are gonna try to make as little mess as possible. All right, so first we are gonna brown the chicken for more flavor. We want the fat to render and the meat to brown. Let's transfer the chicken, same bowl. Same pan. We're gonna add some cherry tomatoes, whole. Coat it with the oil, so heat distribution happens. At this point, you can stop, set it aside. Same pan as the chicken. I'm gonna lower my heat, at least 2 tablespoons of the olive oil, and then the rice. What I notice is people have a hard time declumping their rice when they cook. What you can do is like use 2 spatulas and use that to like break everything apart. Turn it into individual grains and then just like toss it. And let me show you how I like doing my fried rice. How I put in my eggs. Make a well in the middle. So I let the whites cook for a little bit. Season it with some salt, pepper. Now you can add 1 more egg, but then it might be unhealthy. Now we are gonna add back our tomatoes and then just toss them together like so. Just to show you what I mean about the juice thing. Alright, are you ready? Wanna see it? Oh, wala lang. So unlike Erwan, I can't eat things that are super hot off the pan. So no, based on the ingredients, definitely healthy, but still super good because of the execution. So I feel like that's one of the points that Erwan's trying to get across. And I hope I've made them proud. Some fried rice. What did he call this again?